Alright, so this is a EVP session that Katie and I were doing in the northwest bedroom. We're going to have to get audio for our cameras, so if anybody wants to fund us, that would be an awesome addition. So we're asking spirits if they can try to interact with us. We have the flashlight, as you can see. It's directed up on the wall behind my head, and we're asking the spirits if they'll try to interact with us by draining the battery from the flashlight or altering the beam. And we leave the flashlight in a normal position. I figure if it's going to interrupt the electrical circuit or however it's going to do it, it's going to be able to do it. You know, some of the ghost-busting teams, they'll screw the cap on so it just barely makes contact, and with the assumption of making it easier, for the spirit to manipulate it. But I don't like to go that way. We use LED flashlights, and we use new batteries in them. And while we were doing an investigation at another location, Katie and I were also doing an EVP session, and the flashlight turned off completely. And when everybody's home. When I checked the batteries, they were brand new batteries when we put them in there, but the bottoms of each of the batteries had browned, and so that was something I had not ever witnessed. With especially an LED flashlight, they have such a low amperage draw that I just haven't seen that. I was a plumber for a long time. I've gone through a lot of flashlights, and I've never seen a battery turn brown on the ends, unless they've been sitting in a flashlight for a long time. But it was like the energy was drawn so quickly out of the batteries that it burned the battery. So we're going to fast forward just a few seconds here, because I started this a little farther back than I planned on, and I ran out of things to tell you right now. So as soon as I open up my hands here, I'm asking the spirits to either come into my hands or use some of my energy to manipulate the flashlights. And you just never know if it's going to work, but it has in the past. So I'm in kind of a meditative state right now. I had felt something, and then the flashlight went off, came back on. Katie shrieked a little bit, because that is kind of powerful when you're sitting there in a house that people have had a lot of experiences in, with some really almost malevolent spirits. They've scared several people. There's been some kinetic activity in the home. Cell phones have flown across the bathroom. They had a cell phone sitting on the tank of the toilet, and after it had made kinetic contact through a shower curtain, pushing on her, she kind of screamed out and said, "Get the fuck out of here!" And that's when her cell phone flew across the bathroom from the back of the toilet. And I think shortly after that is when she had gotten a hold of our team and asked us to come and do an investigation. So to find out, the house is pretty old. It was made in the early 1900s, and then it was moved from its original location in 1950, about 10 blocks. And some of the history on the house involves prostitutes being kidnapped and being held for several days, murdered, and then dropped off in an alley behind a school several blocks away. So we did an investigation on the home about 2 or 3 weeks before this investigation on the upstairs. We did the basement, and most of the people in that home really don't want to go in the basement. It's a kind of scary place. One of the tenants, before they recognized the spiritual activity, was sitting in or sleeping in the basement in a kind of a finished bedroom, and he awoke to 2 glowing red demonic eyes, just slightly above his chest, and so he wouldn't he wouldn't come back to that place. That's where you can't have fear of these spirits, or if you have fear, it amplifies their ability to do things. And so while you're doing an investigation, you need to really hold a strong feeling of surety and confidence, a love feeling, knowing that you're coming in there to do good. You're coming in to help the occupants understand that they're not going crazy, that those flashes of light that they see in their peripheral vision sometimes, or when you feel something watching you, it could be something watching you. But you have to understand that everything is frequency, and good or bad, everything is only frequency. And what we are experiencing here in the physical is a light spectrum known as visible light. When we anything above or below that, we're not able to witness with the 5 senses. So there's a lot that we're not seeing, and a lot more to experience than just what we see in the physical. So anyway, we're just helping people understand that. And you know what? There was all sorts of activity when we left. Let's back that up and we'll see if we can capture any stills of that. Let's back that up again. Here's a good one. I don't know what I spilled on my pants, but those UV UV cameras pick up everything. Oh shit. Yeah, technology is great, but sometimes I kind of like old-fashioned stuff. But old-fashioned stuff sure doesn't catch Casper like Casper does. This is an exciting path that we've chosen to participate in. I kind of like Scooby-Doo when I was a kid, What an exciting adventure all the time. Well, we have a mystery van. We call it the Vanaconda. And we have 3 dogs One of them is kind of like Scooby-Doo. His name is Hossaru. He's half Bull Mastiff, quarter Great Dane, and quarter Boxer. And then we have Scrappy too, which is Kali, and she's our pit bull, our Staffordshire Terrier. She's not a fighter. Anyway, that's what an EVP session is like, and we're still getting some more activity, so I'll keep it going just for another second. Okay, now you're going to experience some time travel.